For over 40 years, James Hetfield has been the loud, powerful voice behind Metallica, one of the most famous and successful heavy metal bands in the world. He helped shape the sound of a generation with iconic albums like Master of Puppets and Ride the Lightning. But recently, something surprising happened. In a series of interviews, James opened up in a very honest and emotional way. He talked about how he really feels about Metallica's newer music and what he said might shock longtime fans. James Hetfield is not hiding anymore. He's asking tough questions. He's wondering if the Metallica of today is still as strong and meaningful as it was back in the 1980s. He admitted that he has doubts and struggles when it comes to the band's new music. For many years, he kept those feelings inside, but now he's being real with fans, and his words may change how people listen to Metallica forever. The heavy weight of greatness. Being part of a legendary band comes with a unique kind of pressure. James Hetfield carries a burden that not many musicians can truly understand. Every time Metallica releases a new album, it gets compared to their most famous and powerful work. Albums like Master of Puppets and Ride the Lightning. Those albums were made when the band was young, full of energy, and hungry to prove themselves. That energy helped them create music that changed the world of metal. Now, decades later, James feels the pressure of living up to those classics. In recent interviews, he admitted that the memory of their past hits is always in the back of his mind when they try to make new music. That creates a huge challenge. It's hard to write fresh, exciting songs when you're constantly trying to measure up to music that became legendary. James explained that making music used to feel like a wild adventure, but now it feels like they are walking a tightrope. On one hand, they want to please fans who love their old-school sound. On the other hand, they want to try new things and grow as artists. This creates a constant tension inside the band. Should they try to recreate the old magic, or should they move forward and take risks? The business side of music. There's another layer to the struggle: money. Back in the 1980s, Metallica wasn't rich or famous. They were just trying to make great music and survive. But now, they're one of the biggest bands in the world. Their albums and tours bring in millions of dollars. That kind of success creates pressure to keep producing music that sells. James Hetfield admitted that the band sometimes has to think about what will make money instead of just focusing on their art. This makes things complicated. It's not always easy to balance creative freedom with business demands. And for someone like James, who cares deeply about the music, that can feel frustrating. On top of all this, James is known for being a perfectionist. He always wants things to be just right. He's extremely hard on himself and is constantly judging his own work. If something doesn't feel as good as the classics, he's not satisfied. This leads to long recording sessions and endless edits. It's tough to move forward when you're always chasing perfection. Honest opinions on recent albums. One of the most surprising things about James Hetfield's recent interviews is how honest he was about Metallica's newer albums. He talked about Hardwired to Self-Destruct, 2016 and 72 Seasons, 2023, and he didn't hold back. About Hardwired, James said it was real and raw, but he also admitted that he was afraid to show too much emotion in the songs. After the COVID-19 pandemic, he realized that people needed honest, vulnerable music more than ever. He said, "I was scared to show my pain, but that's what people need now." This shows that James is still trying to figure out how to be himself in a world that expects perfection. He also talked about how hard it is to write songs now. He said he often second-guesses himself and wonders if his guitar riffs are good enough. "Am I reusing the same old Hetfield tricks?" he asked. That kind of self-doubt shows how difficult it is for someone like James, who once helped create a new wave of metal, to feel confident in his newer work. Changing band dynamics. Another thing that has changed over the years is how the band works together. When Metallica was young, the members were full of wild energy and would create songs quickly based on pure emotion and excitement. Now, things are more organized and professional, but sometimes that means the music loses its spark. James talked about how the band's process has become more careful and less spontaneous. He misses the raw, gritty feeling they had in the early days. He even said that sometimes modern Metallica feels like a different band from the one that made songs like Creeping Death and For Whom the Bell Tolls. Back then, everything was fast, loud, and full of risk. Now, with years of experience and success behind them, the music goes through many steps: writing, editing, polishing, and sometimes it loses that original fire. Problems with the sound. One of the biggest things that bothers James Hetfield is how Metallica's modern music sounds. He's been very open about not liking how clean and polished the recordings are. He misses the rough, dirty sound of the old albums. "Rock and roll isn't supposed to be perfect," James said. "Sometimes I hear a mix back and think, are we trying too hard to make this sound perfect?" He wants the music to feel alive and real, not like it was built piece by piece in a studio. Melody recording technology has come a long way since the 1980s. Today, computers can help fix mistakes, change sounds, and make everything perfect, but James believes that this takes away the magic. In the past, they'd play a song together and capture the energy of that moment. Now, with all the editing, that energy sometimes disappears. James also said that trying to make songs that fit radio formats or streaming playlists adds pressure. He wants to write powerful music, not songs designed just to get plays. And when those two goals don't match, it makes creating new music even harder. A complicated friendship with Lars. The creative relationship between James Hetfield and Lars Ulrich, Metallica's drummer, has always been intense. They are both strong personalities, and that's helped the band succeed, but it also causes tension. James recently said that Lars is always pushing the band to try new things. He loves to experiment and go beyond the limits. But sometimes James just wants to play a straight-up metal riff that hits hard. He said, "Lars will say, let's experiment, let's push boundaries. But sometimes you just need a fist-in-the-gut riff." That quote says a lot about their relationship. Lars wants to innovate. James wants to stick to their roots. They often disagree about what a song should sound like or how it should be produced. While their long friendship means they understand each other deeply, it also means they sometimes fall into old patterns and get stuck. Still, even with all their differences, James respects what Lars brings to the band. Their creative tension has led to some of Metallica's most interesting work, but it also means that making new music isn't always smooth or easy. Learning to accept change. Even though James Hetfield has shared many frustrations about the band's direction, he's also started to come to terms with where they are now. He knows that Metallica in the 2020 is not the same as Metallica in the 1980s, and maybe that's okay. "You have to risk sucking if you want to keep moving forward," James said. "I'd rather make a record that's hated but honest than a record that's fake. That shows real growth." He's learning that being true to himself is more important than getting perfect reviews. James also feels grateful that Metallica is still together after all these years. Many bands break up or fade away, but Metallica is still making music and touring. That's something rare and special. He knows that even if the music changes, the spirit of the band is still alive. In recent years, James has written more personal lyrics. He talks about his struggles with addiction, his relationships, and getting older. These are things fans can relate to. Even if the music isn't as aggressive as it once was, it now has a deeper emotional message. A message to the fans. James Hetfield has always cared deeply about Metallica's fans. That's why he's been so open lately. He wants people to understand that making music isn't as simple as it seems. He's not just a rock star. He's a real person with doubts, fears, and dreams. Through all the ups and downs, James remains the heart of Metallica. He's not trying to relive the past. He's trying to stay real in the present. And by sharing his honest thoughts, he's showing fans a side of him they may not have seen before. What do you think about James Hetfield's honest take on Metallica's recent music? Do you agree with him? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep look into Metallica's journey, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell for more stories from the world of music. Thanks for watching.